Hi, I'm going to give an overview now of the 4-channel DVR. This unit is 960H, so it's a high definition unit, and it means that it's a huge improvement, we'll say, on previous technology in terms of it can support the new 960H high definition cameras, but it's also backward compatible, so it can work with the old standard definition cameras as well. We can have a mix onto a single DVR. Another huge advantage of this, over other high definition technologies like IP, is that it can use the existing cables. So something like RJ59 cables with B&C connections, all the rest of it, these can slot directly onto this DVR. So from that perspective anyway, it's a great piece of technology. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to give an overview of exactly what comes with the unit. I'm going to give an overview of the unit itself in some detail, and finally I'll give an overview of it in operation and just give you an idea of what will happen the first time you turn it on, etc. So it comes in this presentation box, which you can see here. Okay, so it's quite compact and neat. It comes with this 3-pin plug, and the output on this is 12 volts and 2 amps. We have a remote control here, which is a nice compact little unit. We have a mouse that comes with the unit for operating this directly. There's a USB port on the front for this. We have a mini CD here, which comes with software which we can use and load onto PCs to allow us to actually control and view the DVR over a network. Also, an important note on it is that there's a downloadable app for this, which allows us to view it on Android or iPhone devices, Blackberries, etc. Okay. We have a user manual here, which is sort of compact and to the point. Then we have a set of screws here, which allow us to mount up to 2 internal hard drives on this. So we can support 2 terabyte hard drives here, so a total of 4 terabytes can be added to it. Very large capacity, particularly for a 4 camera DVR. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just actually going to walk towards the front of the desk, and I'm just going to give an overview of the particular features here and the functionality on it. Okay, so just grab a pen. So we can see here that we have a number of function buttons here. So there's a rewind, a play, a stop and a pause button, a fast forward and a forward button. We have a search functionality. We have a grid format here, which allows us to display, 1, 2 or 1 or 4 channels at a time. We have a record button, a PTZ button. So this supports pan, tilt, zoom cameras, so we can put up a camera and actually remotely control the camera and twist and rotate and zoom in on different areas with controlling here. We have a menu button which brings up the main menu, and an escape button as well, which is basically an exit button. We have lights here on the front of it to indicate if the alarm has been triggered, if the hard drive is currently recording, the link functionality on it, the Caesar hard drive attached to light up if there is, and the power unit just say that the unit's on itself. We have an OK button here and a scroll right and left, up and down button. We have 2 USB ports here. The top one we'll say would be used with a hard drive for external recording, or a USB key for upgrading the firmware or extracting recordings again, and the mouse here as well, which we showed earlier, for actually operating through the menu system or indeed the PTZ. So I'll just rotate around to the back of the unit, and we'll say we have 4 inputs here. But interestingly on this, we have the 4 video inputs here, but we also have 4 audio inputs. So if we had cameras that had microphones built in, we could record simultaneously. That's actually puts this as unusual in terms of rarely would there be audio for each of the 4 units. We have an audio out and also a video output here. What we have then as well is the main ways we'd connect it to the monitor or a TV would be via VGA lead or a HDMI lead. The preference normally obviously would be for a HDMI lead, simply because all TVs now have a HDMI input on them. And the other point being that although the video quality from VGA or HDMI would be equal, HDMI also supports audio. Okay, so that's another advantage that it have. There's an RJ45 port here, which just lets us put it on the network. And that's obviously important for remote viewing or viewing through your smartphone, etc. And then there's a connection here, which is an RS485 connection. I'll just tilt it up for a second, and you can just see it here. And finally, anyway, we have the 12 volt input as well. If we remove the covers here, we'll be able to look inside, and that's where we can actually add on the hard drives directly inside. So what I'm going to do at this point here is what we have over here is we have the first time we turn on this particular unit, exactly what we'd see in terms of the time, the date, etc., where we can come along and we can edit and change these things here. So I can actually change it to an actual time that it is, although the date there, for instance, is accurate. This is the 23rd of January 2015 when I'm shooting this video. So you can just go through this. What I'm going to do now is I'm simply going to hit the exit button out. And it's when I go to right click here to bring up the menu, it's saying to me, what's the password? And a little bit unusually on this unit, normally we'll say on DVRs, it's normally like 4 or 6 zeros to allow you to log in. In this case here, there is no password. Now there's a section where you can actually set this at a later point, but by default there's none. We just have one camera set up. We actually have a 50 meter HD camera set up about a meter away from a box here. So that's what we can see in the background. Just want to give a quick demonstration there. But if we right click here, we'll see we can bring up the main menu here. And if we go in here, we have, it's menu driven here. So we just have a config menu here. So you go in and it has the basic, the live setup, the recordings, the schedule. We have the alarm, networks, the users. So you can obviously set up users, guest users, etc. Set the passwords here, the PTZ control here, and also the advanced. We have more detailed videos coming in each of these sections. So just go back to the main menu, hit exit here, brings me back. And this is data search. So if we're actually looking for a particular time period, we can just click in and play it back in this manner. What we can do here then is we have a data backup for backing up our recordings onto a USB or a hard drive. The information here both on the system, the log, the network, etc. So we just exit back out here. And then we have a hard drive here. No hard drive currently added, but if it was, it'd just give basically the size of the hard drive, how many hard drives, and how much free space we have, okay? I'll just hit exit here again. There's an upgrade option here, which you obviously use for doing upgrades, etc. We can log out of the system here, we can shut it down, and we can restart. So if I hit this restart button here now, it'll actually log all the way out and boot out, bring us back to the main screen. So if we just come back out here, we'll say I will just I can just kill the screen here and come back out here. If I come along here and just using the button functions on the front of the unit, I'm just going to hit the grid button for now. And we can just see here we've got 1, and then we can go back to the 4 format there. So it gives us the just general thing here. Anyway, in the later videos you'll get an overview of it. Now this unit, anyway, it's really proved to be very, very popular, simply because it's a low-cost unit, but if we look at the specifications on this unit, it's very, very similar to the high-end ones we do in terms of the functionality of it. In general, we'll say we market sort of our lower-cost ones for domestic use and other ones for sort of commercial use. This one here is sort of unusual in terms of it's slotted in the price bracket of the domestic ones, but in terms of actual functionality, it has a lot of extra functions that are applicable to the sort of more high end. So that's it anyway, an overview of the 4-channel DVR with 960H high definition recording.